Hello. It's Friday night. It's time for SmackDown, and it's incredibly hot in here. I'm absolutely dying. Let's go.
Hello, this is Shotzi Blackheart, and welcome to Gimme A Hull Yeah! I hope everyone checking this out in Yorkshire and beyond is having a great day.
I love how she says Yorkshire. I'll never get tired of that. All right, let's sort this out. Oh, cooling spray. I've got that and my fan, and nothing's working. How are we? Welcome to the Gimme A Hull Yeah podcast. Tonight we'll be watching some SmackDown. It's incredibly hot. We're having a bit of a heat wave in the UK tonight. Like, you don't even want to know what's going on under this hat, more than usual. But anyway, let's see who we've got in. Who have we got? So I think is Sassy with us this evening. I don't know if Sassy's taking the night off. SmackDown is beginning. We are getting a recap of last week, and we're getting a recap of Payback as well, which is cool. So, yeah. Oh, so Trish turned on Zoe Stark. So is she a babyface now? I don't know. Are we going to get a Zoe Stark versus Trish feud? I'm kind of up for it. And, oh, my Lord. Anthony Nayland is here. He says, Sam Smith or Brandon Cutler? Oh, of course, the spray. Yeah. Oh, is that this? Does he use that same thing? The cooling spray? Don't ever compare me to Brandon Cutler. Like, why does he even still work there? Why does he still even work anywhere? He was passable during the pandemic era when he had his pretty cool dragon dude gimmick, but what have they done with him since then? Like, how is he ever coming back from that? I don't know. But we're not here to talk about AEW, Anthony. It's not a Wednesday night. I do believe it's a Friday night. I haven't watched any AEW since All In. I believe it or not. No, I tell a lie. You have his gimmick, brother. Yeah, I make it look good. That's the difference. Like, if I have his gimmick, it'd actually get over. Yeah, I haven't even watched All Out yet. I might watch it tomorrow. I might have a day like recovering from tonight. I might watch All Out, then just plow through all the AEW stuff. I don't want to hear about or think about CM Punk. You know what I mean? Spray. Couldn't think of anyone in WWE. I don't think anyone in WWE has ever used my instant cooling spray, but it's proper good. I'm dying in this room. Like, I've got the window open, but I can't really open that window because then all the neighbours will hear me kicking off. Right. So we're seeing a bit of a flashback to nice Terry Funk t-shirt there. So they are recapping Payback. Like, we recapped it on Raw, but now we're seeing some of the other stuff. Payback was all right. I actually thought Payback was going to be a bit of a C pay-per-view, a bit of a bit of filler, but it was actually better than it had any right to be. I feel like, though, we're in a bit of a lull now with AEW and WWE. I feel like AEW is kind of now just waiting around for a full gear, and WWE is just kind of waiting around for Survivor Series. Like, we've got two kind of C pay-per-views, B pay-per-views, if you want to be charitable, in a row. Wasn't quite feeling Sammy and Kevin sticking on those jerseys. I don't understand the sport. I know it's something to do with the sports team. That's about as far as my sport knowledge goes. But Judgment Day winning the tag belts, now that's interesting. It's almost a shame as well, because Sammy and Kevin, their title reign, like at WrestleMania, because we were there in person. Anthony was there too. I think we were sat next to each other. It was such a big deal when they won those belts, and then it's just kind of felt like meh ever since. I don't know. I'm saying Survivor Series time always happens. Soon you're going to get thrown in the brand versus brand with no consequence. They didn't do that last year, though. Did they do that last year? Or did they kind of ignore the brand warfare in favor of War Games? See, I kind of like the brand warfare, but only when there's actual stakes. You know what I mean? I remember that. So I've been down on Survivor Series. Like, they had that great one where NXT got involved, and it was super complicated. But yeah, I'm a fan of the classic Survivor Series match. I kind of like the dynamic that the heels and the faces of each respective brand need to work together, and one team always kind of fails where one always manages to pull it off. I always kind of enjoy that dynamic. I also like the champions versus champions thing. Who's the best champion? I've always kind of enjoyed that. Like when we get the Universal versus the WWE, or the Intercontinental versus the United States. Yeah, I've always been into that. That's always been a like that. We had that one with NXT that time. They did overbook it and overcomplicate it, but then that's the other year where we got, instead of doing the usual, they did Brock Lesnar versus Rey Mysterio, and it was just a crap squash. And I think they did something else with the other one, but we should have got the Fiend versus Brock Lesnar. That is what I wanted to see, and sadly we'll never get that now, will we? Or any variety of it, poor Bray. But anyway, who else have we got in? So we've got Normar in. Dynamite says now if Priest cashes in, it's going to be even more gold for Judgment Day than Fort Knox. Yeah. They are really teasing that. Something's got to give with that. See, I think they've lulled us into a false sense of security with that. Finn and Priest are all pally now. The minute they lose those belts, and if he cashes in, is something going to go wrong? I hope so. I'm saying A up no more. And if you're awake, you can come on stream if you want, mate. It's kind of like, you don't need me to tell you that. Just saying, if you want to. Unless you're in bed, just kind of doing it on your phone. It's up to you, mate. More gold around Mr. T's neck. Yeah. Smiley Barnes saying, brother from another mother. Hi, everyone. I am. Oh, Seth versus Roman with a Priest cash in. Now, that would be cool. Yeah. Yeah. Ooh. I suppose so, yeah, because I remember thinking a minute ago that they've got no Universal or WWE now because they've kind of unified into one. But I suppose they have brought back the big gold belt, haven't they? I know it's a new version of the big gold belt, but it's still the big gold belt. Just a new, But anyway, yeah, they could do that. They could do Roman versus Seth. Presumably, Seth will still be holding it, but I do like the idea of that match with a Priest cash-in. Maybe if they lost the tag titles that night, could Balor get in the way of that? Then you could have a lot of different big stars in one segment. I always love it when WWE do that. And AEW as well, actually. Shotzi's here, looking awesome. She's got the tank. Smiley saying, I'm curious to see what Lashley and Street Profits in the future. Yeah, me too. 8 minutes in, first yawn. There we go. Bless you, he says. I'm in bed, love. I'm shattered. Oh, fair enough. Okay. Go and get some sleep. Or don't. Stay here and help my numbers. Hassan, yeah, you can. Is it crazy Shotzi versus Charlotte? I love the Street Profits as heels. Now I'm glued to the screen to see what they can do. Yeah. Didn't they rock up in NXT the other week? And that was a bit weird. And they were all kind of baby faces. Or was that before the turn? I don't know. I don't know where I'm at with NXT anymore. Oh, here we go. So Bailey, don't trash the tank. Is this? Oh, it's a tag team match, is it? I'm not going to lie, Hassan. I'm a bit unsure who's actually wrestling. Is it a tag team match between these guys? We'll do that. I'll wait till it's a bit more obvious. I should have been paying attention. I was busy chatting. So that cup of tea keeps me alive, keeps me awake. I was hoping Shotzi 2.0 would lose the tank. Yeah, it's over with the kids, though, isn't it? Nothing. It's over with the kids more than pretend machines of war. So this is Shotzi and Charlotte. Well, that's a strange bedfellows. Oh, Hassan's asking me what am I going to do this weekend. Well, Hassan, I'm glad you asked. I'm going to do this right now for the next 2 hours and try not to fall asleep, like I always do. Then I'm going to do what I do every day, Pinky. Try to take over the world. No, if you get that reference, you're as old as me. No, I think tomorrow I'm going to relax, catch up on AEW, sit by the TV, go to the gym, walk the dogs. Sunday, probably go around my parents, drink a load of their beer. something else, I don't know. They've done a tank toy yet? Not even over enough yet. They must have done. They must have done something with that tank toy, you know? Smiley says, ask the chat, please. What should we expect from the main event, Jey Uso on Raw? I don't need to ask the chat, mate. You just did. Right, Hassan, I think I know what we're doing, so I'm going to give you that vote now, mate. Let me just... I've got the awkward moment of opening another YouTube where my voice will interrupt my voice. Hang on. I don't know how the guys do this. So this is the safest way to do it. Oh, there it is. Right, okay. So let us have a vote for Hassan and everybody else. Hassan, what are you doing at the weekend? You've asked me. I want to know what you're doing. Is it voting? Ugh, ad break already. For God's sake. So Charlotte and Shotzi. I'm spelling it out because I know they spell it in some kind of weird text way, but I'm too old for text speak. There we go. And we'll have a banner, which I'll then forget for half an hour to take down. Give me a moment. It's full of AW stuff at the moment. I wonder why that could be. From Wednesday night, from when you were on, Ant. I feel like this blue line I've got around my face is like, I don't know if this is the one you use for AW, because it looked blue to me when I did it, but now it's looking a bit AW purpley. Well, we use purple for AW. Okay, so on now. Shotzi and Charlotte versus Damage. And we're going to spell it out just to be annoying. Boom. There we go. Comments. Smiley says, bear with me sometimes. I get nervous here. Never was a speaker. Oh, wait. The minute you type a comment, you're asking the chat. I was going to do AEW Collision at the weekend, but doing my music after breakfast. That sounds good. It's not the one I use, but it's all good. Looks great. Yeah, good. I was thinking, like, it just looks a little bit purpley, but I kind of like the little line thing. I usually use the blue things going all over the place, but I thought I'd go for this one today. Like it was some kind of weird cinema. Here we go. More ads. So I am excited though tonight. There were what people saying about Jey Uso versus Jimmy Uso even versus AJ Styles. Like the Usos being split up. I think they have to separate them for a bit and then bring them back together, don't they? I still think, like you've heard me say 1,000 times, where I think it's going, which is the Usos, Sammy, and Solo being the last one, but all of them turning against Roman at WrestleMania and him needing to do it on his own without any cronies. I think that is where it's going for me. Like Jay and Sammy obviously hugged and made up on Raw, which warmed my cockles. I thought it was really nice. But let's be honest, that's not going to go down well with Kevin Owens. Wrestling's about drama, about conflict. You can't have a love fest for too long. Second yawn. Oh. Keeping it fresh, baby. That's what I'm saying. And I'm like, I'm not keeping it fresh at all. I'm flipping tired. I was up early this morning. I should have had a nap, but well. Smiley's saying, I can't wait for Survivor Series, one of my favourite events next to WrestleMania. Oh, that's interesting, because out of the big four, it's probably my least favourite. You know, if I'm not counting Money in the Bank as that what the big five, which is what they're trying to make it, I feel like I like Survivor Series, but it's the Rumble, SummerSlam, and Mania I prefer. I flipping love the Rumble. Mania, I absolutely, I always have a cracking weekend to myself. And SummerSlam, I always kind of feel like, I wish it was WrestleMania, but this will do. Survivor Series is a big one. I liked War Games last year. That was ace. I like Baron Corbin's new music, Burn the Ships. It's good. Yeah, it's awesome. Absolutely awesome. I love what they're doing about Baron Corbin on NXT at the moment. They've kind of brought back his lone wolf gimmick, but giving it a little bit more spiciness. And thank God they got rid of that awful hairdo he had back in the day. I like how they're laughing at all of his other gimmicks as well, but the only problem with that is they draw attention to them as gimmicks, which kind of breaks kayfabe. But I'll allow it. Shotzi's hair looks like a sea urchin or some such critter. Pretty weird styling. Yeah, I was thinking she looks very Sex Pistols, doesn't she? Very like 1980s, 1970s punk rock. Daniel saying hi, Sam. Hi, Daniel. Smiley says, I like it when brands clash. I love the Royal Rumbles. Yeah, well, the Royal Rumble's just the best thing ever, isn't it? Because the Royal Rumble, they can do so much stuff. Tease, future feuds, call back to other stuff. Stop yawning, for God's sake. Oh. Daniel saying, Jey Uso is back with a new theme song. Yeah, I hate it. I absolutely hate it. Just me, down sits, just me. Oh, cringe. Cringe. They have to do better than that. I like Shotzi's hair. I do too. Although the green hair thing was kind of what made her stand out. You know what I mean? It was like when Sasha and Eva Marie all had like different coloured hair. I kind of like it. But I don't know, like she cut her hair off, in solidarity with her sister, which is nice. But I'd like to see her get the green back. Maybe she can dye it green again like this. Maybe it already is. It's just too short to see, like a darker green. But it looks black to me from here. Sam, what does he want to burn the ships? Like Pirates of the Caribbean movie? I think it's a reference to making war on your enemies, isn't it? I think, which is pretty cool. It's badass. I told you he's going to return. Oh, yeah. He was never staying away for long. I'm so sorry about these yawns. I wish there was something I could do about it. They wait until I'm on stream as well, and then bang, yawn. Invasions from other brands are interesting. Up Observing and Daniel. Do you remember the WCW invasion? What a wasted opportunity that was. Could you imagine if it had been done with like Sting, Goldberg, the NWO, Ric Flair, like all the hard hitters, all the big hitters? Half of them were former WWE guys anyway, were WWF guys. Like that is what we all wanted to see. No disrespect to Booker T and Billy Kidman, but if it was them, I can't even remember. I know Goldberg showed up a year later, but it was a little too late. I think Sting waited a good 10 years, didn't he? Ric Flair and the NWO were back in a short amount of time, though, weren't they? I suppose. I love Elimination Chamber. Yeah, me too. My favourite one was the one where Brock was stalking Austin Theory. That was amazing. And just absolutely annihilating him. And then there was the one with Shayna Baszler just stalking each of them like a great white shark. I might in a bit go get an espresso coffee to stop this, see if that can stop these yawns. In fact, I wonder if this will work. I'm going to do the spray again. I'm going to do my inner Brandon Cutler. What? I've got a wet face now. Everyone's saying hi to Ant, who's still awake. Says, I hope you're all having an awesome day. We watched Ant versus Dom before. We had a new one of them. They're always fun to watch. I was with Anthony this time. I think when we did that spooky one, I think I kind of sided with the Bray Wyatt argument of Dom's. But this time, again, I'll let you go and watch it. I'm not going to spoil it all here. And I do not want to discuss flipping CM Punk again. But yeah, I'm with Ant on this one. I don't know. I think it would say Dom was right when he mentioned they've not exactly been Captain Moral Fiber in the background, but I think in this day and age it'd be a step too far. That's just me. There's Asuka looking terrifying. That facepaint is frightening. Ooh. Give it a back. Here's a question. Should we make WWE make Rey Mysterio's heel turn? They could do something like that for his retirement angle. I don't think they've got the stones. I think they're going to turn Legado, the LWO heel, at some point. I honestly thought they were going to do it at Payback, but no. Daniel finished season 3 of Peaky Blinders today. What a great show. Yeah, it's season. What's the season normal where they kill off his wife at like the very beginning? Like that to me really killed my investment, and I've kind of like never really recovered with it. You know, I will do though. I just ruined it for everybody, didn't I? Asuka face turn. See, I think Io's turning face eventually. Like, surely they've got to get Bailey to turn on her at some point. Like, otherwise, what was the point of the whole her stepping over her thing at Money in the Bank? Like, they might just not do anything with that. But she just literally and figuratively stepped over her to get the briefcase. Like, I mean, is that not? Does anybody else see that as like perfect motivation for a heel to turn on somebody? Oh yeah, Team Ant, let's go. Ant wants us to do it was my idea, but a Dom versus Sam. No, Dan versus Sam. But I don't know if there's much Dan and I disagree about. I think it would be a very polite affair. Oh, I do understand your opinion, Dan. Yes. I think it would be too agreeable. And though that one versus you and Dom, it was too short, mate. You've got to get going and really get into it for that episode to be really, really good. You know what I mean? You've got to it's got to be a half an hour slog, I think, not 40-minute one. You've got to spend the time for Diva Dom to come out. I don't think he comes out after 15 minutes. I think you need a little bit more time and do it live. Then people can prod you both in the comments. Observing says, I don't think Ray's ever turning heel. Yeah, maybe. I think they put him in the Hall of Fame. They did all of that. I think he's on his final run, isn't he? Before he retires, you know. Was that season 3? I didn't know it was season 3 or season 2. Yeah, I think it was the start of season 3, wasn't it? I think. Read there was going to be a Peaky Blinders movie. Yeah, I believe there is. I think they finished the show, haven't they? It's a shame about one of the actresses. I think who played Aunt Polly, because I think we lost that episode. We lost that actress in real life. She's married to Damian Lewis, isn't she? So it's a shame. But I think they haven't got many characters left. Street Profits heel turn. Oh yeah, we had that. And saying, got to get my missus down to watch it. You should watch it from home. She not got Netflix. They need Cillian Murphy to be Tommy Shelby in a Peaky Blinder film. I think they are, Daniel. I think it's the same production company. They're just kind of doing it as a wrap up, if that makes sense. It's essentially a special 2-hour episode. Dan versus Sam hype. Let's go. Is Vince an offender? Oh, bloody hell. I'm there pulling my hair out when they were talking on that Ant versus Dom. And I'm like, we've got to use the word alleged, boys. We're broadcasting this. We've got to use the word alleged. Yeah, but alleged. That's all I'm saying. Glad I'm not on that one. So BBC iPlayer for free, mate. That's where I watch it. Oh, yeah, I think it's on Netflix as well. I think I watched the last season on Netflix. I don't think I've used iPlayer in years. I used to love it when I was a student. I used to love it. But it was a big deal back then. Here's Heyman. Getting in Jimmy's head. Of course, let's not forget Jimmy and Jay. Neither of them are part of the bloodline at the moment. Jimmy might have turned on Jay. But in his head, his reasons are pure for doing it. But he's still anti-Roman, isn't he? So the question is, will Roman and Heyman sucker him back in? I hope not. Because after all, he was the one encouraging Jay to turn, wasn't he? You know? I still don't know. I still think this has slightly derailed the bloodline story, ever so slightly. I get the separating the Usos to see which one of them is going to be the biggest star, solo star. No pun intended with the solo there. Interesting. Here's AJ. Who's probably going to be kicking the crap out of Jimmy Uso later, I hope. So yeah, she can watch it on iPlayer then. Well, you can get Netflix and everything these days. I think we get it through our Sky TV. Oh no, we get everything through that these days. I only use it for the World Cup and the Euros. Oh, mate, I tell you what, I'd be happy to take a bloody 10-year break from the World Cup and the Euros. If I hear Sweet Caroline one more time, I'm going to absolutely scream. So sick of it. And I usually love it. Like, I don't follow club football because it bores the crap out of me. But I do, I enjoy international tournaments, but I'm sick of the back teeth of them. I'm sick of the back teeth of daring to dream and then losing. I'm not happy unless I'm winning. I can't wait till the missus moves in so we can cuddle up and watch the romantic Birmingham drama. If you like Peaky Blinders, check out Boardwalk Empire as well. Same era, different city, different country. But it's pretty cool. Daniel, I'm not going to highlight that comment about Polly and her son, just in case it spoils it for someone watching. So I actually do know why they're called blinders. It's because in real life, they had razor blades in their hats, in their peaky hats. If they ever got into fights, they'd take people by surprise, pull out a razor blade and cut someone's eye. And they'd use peaky blinders. So there you go, Ant. Sorry, Daniel, if I stole your thunder there. But they actually made a big deal out of it in season 1. There's a bit where they get into a fight with some travellers. And I think they just take off the hats and they start using their hats as weapons with the razor blades. I don't know if they've done that much with it since. But yeah, in season 1, they were pretty savage with it. Well, someone's done their homework, Sam. Yeah, well, I'm not going to lie. I don't know how I knew that. I think I knew it before the series came out. I'm a fountain of useless knowledge, mate. Very well educated, but none of it's helpful. But yeah. Because they are a real gang. You know, they were... Peaky Blinders itself is completely fictional as a show, but they were a real gang. And they emerged from a lot of the poverty in Birmingham after World War One, and you know, let's be honest, a lot of the men of the country have just been decimated in the Pals Battalion. So there wasn't many blokes. There wasn't a lot of work. There was it was. So they kind of controlled the streets and kind of took Birmingham from all the bigger crime syndicates and stuff. That's why it's such a good story, just like Tommy does in the series. Cool and a bit grim, but yeah, I remember in season 1 that they're slashing people up. I hope YouTube doesn't kick off at me for all this stuff I'm describing, this violence I'm describing. Yeah, the first season was in 2013. I know I was a mature student when I did it, but I was in uni when season 1 came out. I lived alone as well. I remember watching it on my own with my dog and being like, this is ace. Jess watched it, my wife. She watched it like just a few years ago. But she's a bit like me. She kind of fell out of love with it when they killed off that character because she was going to go and be in that crap The Mummy film with Tom Cruise. I mean, The Mummy 4 was awful. I thought The Mummy 3 was bad. 2 was pretty crap as well, in parts. First one was awesome. 10 years ago, yeah, feels like a lifetime ago. I was 25, going 26. I think, yeah, must have been. Living alone, bachelor lifestyle, my own house to myself, just me and the dog. Awesome. Me and him. We could watch TV, watch whatever we wanted, got to bed when we wanted, eat whatever we wanted. Oh, man, you were 8 years old. Oh, that is nuts. That is so nuts. I've been, like, moved out for several years and was, like, I think I was doing my degree. But I kind of got a job for a few years, then went back and did my degree rather than going at 18. Because I knew there was only 2 things I was interested in when I was 18. One of them was beer. I'll let you guess what the other thing was. Go on, Anthony. I've opened you up for some zingers there. Let's see what you come back with. Oh, it's Bailey. She's not happy. Angry Asuka. I was running around in primary school. Now I'm in my 3rd year of college. Drugs. I've never done drugs in my life, mate. Smoked weed, done stuff like that, but that'd be legal soon enough. I don't do it at the moment in the UK because it would be illegal. But when I went to Amsterdam and America, yeah, 100%. Not the last time I went to America, but certainly done it before. Now it's legal there. But no, I'm not a drugs. I've never been into anything like that. I love beer. I was referring to the fairer sex when I was a single guy, but obviously I've been married now a long time. Before I was married, I was with Jess a long time as well. So I think I got with Jess in like 2013, actually. Properly, anyway. You know what I mean? But no, I've always had a very clean existence. So I can't believe I'm in my 3rd year of college already. I remember my 3rd year of college. Oh, hang on, did I? No, I had 2 years in college because I went to the 6th form attached to my high school. Then I went to uni a few years later. I was there for 3 years. Sick of it by the end. Got my degree in journalism, though. And it's LA Knight. Yeah. We should really talk about wrestling at some point, shouldn't we? Has Anthony gone to sleep? Let me talk to you. So reports say LA Knight is officially considered SmackDown's biggest babyface. So no one can say they're not pushing the guy and leaning into his popularity. Apparently there's a mega push coming his way, which, let's be honest, it makes sense, doesn't it? And it's about time. And his Bray Wyatt promo was quite gut-wrenching at times. In a good way, in a sad way, not in a cringy way. Weird observation about Bray Wyatt and his feuds. They seem to be a theme going on with the Fiend, that anyone he kind of came up against turned heel and went to the dark side. Do you remember that? Not everybody, but there was I think Finn Balor, The Miz, Braun Strowman, even Roman Reigns arguably turned fighting against Wyatt. Anybody else am I missing out there? Finn Balor to a point, but turned face again soon after. But yeah, so the idea was he was kind of corrupting everyone. But when it came to LA Knight, the very last feud Bray Wyatt had, he almost became a better person after the feud. And I know it's because he was over with the crowd and he was a heel back then and Bray was a face. And it makes sense for him to, show respect to his fallen opponent. But I just had an interesting observation that after all that corruption from the Fiend to different characters, in kayfabe, Bray Wyatt made LA Knight a better guy. I just thought it was pretty cool. I just thought it was an interesting and rather poignant thing to point out. Daniel's saying, is Jey Uso going to Judgment Day after the discussion with Dom on Monday? See, the Judgment Day thing is getting really interesting because is it me? Or are they absolutely pushing Judgment Day to the moon, making them like the next bloodline? Making Gunther almost the next Roman Reigns. You can see them just getting their ducks in a row, can't you? Which is good. Makes sense. Can't do the Judgment Day thing forever. Surely it's got to come Royal Rumble season. It's got to race to the finish line of WrestleMania. That's in my view, at least. I think that's observing stuff. Observing my observation about Bray Wyatt and LA Knight. I think I sit around thinking about wrestling way too much, don't I? There's Grayson Waller, who's about to get his ass kicked. Oh, who's this coming out? Oh, it's Theory. We've got 3 of the best talkers in the company out here. Who's next, Miz? I can't believe CJ Perry, aka Lana, is in AEW. Yeah, the question is she going to be there for long? See, I haven't watched any AEW this week. I've got to watch All Out, which I'll do tomorrow. Then I'll watch Dynamite and all the others. Yeah, if I can get the time to get through it all. But so I still need to watch it. But I loved what they were doing with Miro, kind of referring to being worthy of his wife and feuding with God and all that. That was ace. That was really creative. I'm looking forward to see where they go with that. I love how he plays it straight when I'm my hot wife. And that, I know he had that match against Will Hobbs. I'm looking forward to that. You know, the whole meat thing, bashing each other around. I'm very much looking forward to that. That's what we all watch wrestling for, isn't it? To see two big guys absolutely kick the crap out of each other. That's where the fun is for me. And Mania, it's going to be Rhea versus Dom versus Finn versus Priest. Oh, I don't think so, mate. I think Balor versus Priest, it might end up being. I wouldn't surprise me if they did Dom versus Ray again a second time. But this time with his career on the line, perhaps. Rhea, I think the current plan, from what I've heard, is Rhea versus Becky Lynch at Mania. As far as I know. Again, it's WWE. So anything we know, any reports like that could always be changed, you know. Like they've got Cody versus Roman penciled in, but it could change. I don't think it will, but it could. Question is, what are they doing with the other belts? Me and Andy were on a stream for Wrestling Royalty earlier, and we were discussing if Gunther and Roman both carry their two belts all the way to Mania. I think it might make sense for Roman to lose his, but if Roman loses his, should Gunther retain? And we were saying a dream opponent for Gunther would be Brock Lesnar. But have Gunther beat Brock, that'd really cement his career. Then maybe have Brock beat him at SummerSlam, Brock take the IC title and kind of that'd help elevate that. I think it'd be awesome. Can I get a vote, please? You can in a memento when we get a match, because right now we've got a promo off. It's probably going to lead to a match, but we'll wait for that to be confirmed. Is Becky going to beat Rhea? I don't know. I kind of hope not, you know, because I don't think Becky needs to. It wouldn't surprise me if once they're done with this Judgment Day story, they turn Rhea face. I can't see Cody beating Roman at Mania. Oh, I can. They need to try and mold Cody into the new John Cena. And trust me, they're going to throw as much mud at that wall as to make that happen as they can. Right now, also there's the whole finishing the story thing, and Roman's got to end up alone. And also, it would be disrespectful for Roman to lose his belt now after that run anywhere but WrestleMania. Roman is not losing that belt at any other show but a WrestleMania. And if you put all the pieces together, he wants to go and take a bit of time off after Mania, which suggests to me he's losing his belt. They're doing this whole building back Cody Rhodes thing. The whole Cody versus Brock story was all about Cody being built up to be a number one contender to fight Roman again. That's the whole thing Brock was doing. Brock was training him. It was tough love, which is actually quite clever. Cody had his chance and he blew it. It's time to move on from Cody finishing the story. Oh, no. They're not going to move on from finishing the story until the story is finished. Doesn't matter if some people dislike it or not. That is the path they're taking. I would bet my car on it. Again, it could change. I've been wrong before. But if you look at where everything's heading, I've said it before, I'll say it again. I think Roman needs to be on his own, lose all of his cronies, be isolated up against a now much more battle-hardened Cody, who this time takes him down without interference. We get them, you know, the win. Let's not forget Cody was the better man at this WrestleMania because Roman's a heel. He cheated to win. But yeah, Roman wanted to take a bit of time off, and they're not going to let Roman lose anywhere else but WrestleMania. So they wouldn't do a situation where he retained against Cody and then lost it at SummerSlam. They've done that before. Yeah, but it's wrestling. They'll just book it again, you know? They'll just book it again. Trust me, that's where they're going. They want Cody to be the company's top face, to be the top guy. And Roman does need a break. No, Roman's not the longest champion of all time. I think what's his name? Bruno Sammartino is still way ahead of him. A couple of others are too, but he's up there. I think he's in the top 10. But I think Bruno Sammartino held it for about 4 years, was it, or something nuts like that, maybe more. If someone wants to have a little look in the comment, find out for me in the comments. But I don't think they're never breaking Bruno's record ever. They're never going to do that. Like the fact that they've actually broke Honky Tonk's record with Gunther is pretty crazy. I think Pedro Morales as well held it for longer than Roman has. The WWE Championship, anyway. The thing is, though, Daniel, he beat Honky Tonk Man on Monday, I believe. Yeah, they could just take it off him now that they've done that. But I suspect they're building a new monster with Gunther. They kind of want him to be Roman Reigns when Roman Reigns isn't there. It's why they had to put the United States on a babyface, because they couldn't have a heel holding every belt. Saying that, they've got Rollins, who's a face now. You know, the guy who was ripping people's eyes out a few years ago. But yeah. Well, that's the current plan for Mania. Let's not forget, they plan these things years in advance. The question is, where do they go from there? Who does Roman go up against after that? Not Roman. Roman will take a break for a while, but who does Cody go up against when that happens? That'll be interesting to see. That'll be what we head into SummerSlam with, I think. Probably Brock again. Because let's not forget, Brock can challenge for the belt again once it's off Roman. But Brock can't challenge for the unified title while Roman holds it still. When you are talking about long reigning champions, Moolah is the queen. No, but like with the some of the stories I've heard about Moolah, I tend not to ever consider her personally. Ricochet beat Gunther. Yeah, that would absolutely cement Ricochet. See, my money is on, who were we talking about before beating Gunther? See, my money is Brock losing to him at Mania, but then beating him at SummerSlam, because that Brock simply going after the IC elevates the IC belt very highly. I'll do a vote actually because we've got a match, and Brock holding it elevates it even more. But Gunther, I like the idea of Gunther and Brock meeting at the Royal Rumble and making enemies of each other, because they haven't done that in ages, have they? Two people meeting in the Royal Rumble and their beef beginning there. Do you remember when they used to do that? They don't seem to do it anymore. I used to love it when the Royal Rumble was a way of just stirring the pot, like when Lesnar was feuding with Goldberg. Goldberg had given him that embarrassing defeat, and then when they're both in the Royal Rumble together, and Goldberg then chucks him out of the Rumble, embarrassing Brock even more. That was golden. That was the best feud Goldberg has ever had in WWE. That was just mwah. Have Braun stop the group that Gunther has behind him? Yeah. Then Braun turn on Ricochet. Let's hope Braun is recovered from his injury. by then, because I'd like to see Braun back. I know he's been suffering, hasn't he, recently with his legs. There was a while ago he couldn't even walk, but we saw him stood up at Bray's Memorial, didn't we? So I hope very much Braun is on the mend. I really do. Joe Johnson says, hi, hello, mate. Thanks for joining us. I'm just going to make a vote, actually, guys, because this match has been on a little while. Here we go. So who won the last one? Charlotte and Shotzi dominated the last one. So who wins? LA Knight. Austin Theory. I think all three guys involved in this feud are awesome. Let's do a banner. This is Austin Theory. There we go. Boom. We have a vote and a banner. I want some gold on the Street Profits and Bobby Lashley. Yeah, me too. Bobby's just like the Profits are great tag team. It's nice to see them as heels. It's about time they had a heel run because we've never really seen it, have we? And when it comes to Lashley, like he's so legit, isn't he? Just so legit. Like he's former Bellator champion. When he holds a belt, like you believe he could kick somebody's ass because he can. And it's just like, I feel like they never seem to hit the right note with him, though. It does my head in, actually, about the booking of Lashley. How he and Brock Lesnar have had an entire series, 3 matches each, but it's never, ever been a proper match with a proper finish. There's always a screwy finish or something stupid happens, like Brock hits him in the balls or Brock accidentally like lands on top of him and pins him in a crap way. Do you know what I mean? Like, just what are they doing? I just want to see a proper Lashley versus Brock match. And now Brock's a face again and Lashley's a heel. Can we not just get it? WWE. That's all I ask for. They need to split up the tag team championships. See, I don't know what they're doing with the tag team belts. Are they going to split them up or are they just going to unify them properly and give them a new belt like they did for Roman, you know? Or Roman hits Brock with a WWE title belt. Yeah, he could. I think Roman's very keen to avoid Brock, isn't he, though? And Lashley. Because they could both have him. I think Roman wants to stay out of the way of anybody who could legitimately take him down. Because Brock can't go anywhere near Roman until Roman loses those belts. Because of the stipulation from SummerSlam. Not last SummerSlam, the one before it. Which has been a smart way of keeping Brock out of the main title picture. What I don't get is why hasn't he gone after the big gold belt? That's a world championship. Does that count as part of the stipulation, or are WWE just hoping we don't twig? I think it's that. I think Lashley would beat Brock in an MMA match. Maybe. Yeah, maybe. It'd be weird, wouldn't it? Because it'd be a former UFC champion versus a former Bellator champion. So it'd almost be like battle of the Bellator and UFC legends. So I'd love to see that. But I think they're both, I don't want to say too old. I think they're both been out of the game too long. They could probably do it, even as just an exhibition. But and apparently they're good mates in real life as well. So they might not want to for that reason. But friends fight in boxing and MMA all the time. It's sport is sport. Friendship is friendship. Hey, there's going to be new belts on Raw. Interesting. Right. So Lashley said in an interview before he would fight someone his age. Are they a similar age? Because I think Lashley's a little bit older than he looks, isn't he? I totally believe Lashley could still go in MMA. Absolutely. Just look at the guy. Just look at him. Like, Brock is just a monster, isn't he? Just a beast of a man. Lashley is just a chiseled statue. If you made a fighter in a lab, it would look like Lashley. Just the way he's built is just immaculate. The guy has probably not eaten a carb since he was a kid. So new tag team belts. Yeah, I'm not going to lie. I think the tag team belts are a bit boring now, aren't they? So I'd be game for... I'd be game for new belts. Those Spartan belts, they were called, they're a bit dull now. I'd love to have different designs, not just one blue, one red. Like the brand split era. Does the brand split, even when they do a brand split like they're doing now, does it ever even mean anything? Lashley's never aged. I know Lashley turned about 35, didn't he? And just kind of stayed there. I hope I do that. Because I'm 35. Lashley's 47 and Brock is 46, so it could work. Yeah. I think the issue is, though, like, I don't know if Lashley's ever been involved with UFC. I don't think Brock's ever been involved in Bellator. UFC's a lot bigger than Bellator. They could do it as an exhibition, but I think both men. Oh no, Lashley's legit. Lashley's completely legit. He's just a guy who works like a mother trucker to be where he is. And also, if he was on any gas, WWE's wellness policy would have picked that up a long time ago. Like, to be fair, with UFC, with Bellator, with WWE, even WWE and stuff like that, nobody's on the gas anymore. It is possible to look like that without being. Just dedication and eating right. Over years and years and years. Like, if you look at Lashley, you can actually see, like, from years ago and kind of like follow his career. Just dedication. I'm fairly sure Rocky is natural as well. Remember, we can't say on here, even if somebody was, we couldn't say it on here because it's a podcast. And unless you can prove something, if you say it, they can sue you for it. It's defamation. So even if somebody was, and I thought they were, you'd never hear me say it on here. I do not want a piece of paper through the post, you know. Because it's not nice when you get one of those. Not that Gimme A Hull Yeah has ever had one. Although we did get WWE tell us to stop dicking around with the Hulkamaniac logo. So we did it differently. We weren't doing anything wrong. It was just probably a little bit too close to theirs. Yeah, and genetics. Yeah, Lashley was born with all the right strands of DNA, 100%. I was going to say, mate, that's going to the gym 5 times a week and eating nothing but fruit and meat. That's what that is, fruit, veg, and meat. Funny story, actually, about Lashley. He was out for dinner with Josh Matthews, who is a producer on Impact Wrestling and a friend of his. This is back when Lashley worked for Impact. Josh is actually used to be a commentator, and he's married to Madison Rayne. He orders some, like, some fried cheese things, and Lashley orders these meatballs. And Lashley's that, like, we've all got that mate who goes to the gym more than us and judges what we eat. And Lashley's like looking at this cheese, this fried cheese, and going, "What are you doing?" And Josh goes, "What's the matter with it?" And he goes, "There's more nutrition in what I'm eating than what you're eating. Like, there's absolutely zero nutrition in that fried cheese you're eating, Josh." And Josh was like, "Oh, go away." But if you look at them both, Lashley looks like that. And no disrespect to Josh, he doesn't look like Lashley. He doesn't look bad. He's a former wrestler himself. But yeah, if Lashley tells you something's bad for you, it's bad for you. Couldn't be asked to do that. Oh, mate, I go about 3 times, I think, but I don't do resistance training every time. Some day I just do cardio, swimming. Swimming's amazing because it just gives you like a full body workout. I like to try and do, I don't know, like 150, 200 lengths a week on top of everything else. I do think I should go more though now because I am seeing some benefits to it. Makes me laugh as well, Lashley. So quiet and well spoken on the mic as well. He's never been a brilliant promo, but he's an excellent wrestler. Let's just get rid of the banner. So I'm going to turn off this fan because I'm getting a bit cold now. I think this heat wave is subsiding. I better wake up tomorrow and it's ridiculous. I bet my bedroom's boiling. Hope she's got the windows open. When you're sleeping on a bed and your wife there and dogs, it gets warm in that room. There'll be at least one dog asleep on that bed. If I met Lashley, and I hope to at some point, I'm very much hoping to interview him one day because I haven't interviewed Lashley, have I? I'd love to interview him for WrestleSphere. That'd be great. Don't know what I'd ask him. Observing stuff says I need to stop working out again. Right now, I'm lifting a bottle of whiskey. Yeah, I think when I get up in a minute, observing stuff, I'm going to get... You know what? I'm just going to take a quick break and I'm going to go and get two things. I'm going to get a quick espresso and I'm going to get a can of Copperberg for the sugar and the alcohol. Getting a bit cold. The heat wave is killing me off. That's what I'm saying. Can I get a vote? Have we got a match? I've been talking about Lashley so long, I haven't realised. I've just turned off that fan and I'm already dying of the heat. Yes, go get a Copperberg and an espresso. I'll be a couple of minutes. Just can never find it, you know. There it is. Hi guys, there are some bloody huge moths in that room. I'm not even joking. Like they're like that big. One of them just came right at me like a bat out of hell. Anyway, flipping 8 moths. What are you guys saying? Here we go. See, told you the heat is going to be the death of us British. We aren't used to the heat. I know you. Oh man, y'all call my matey warm again. I'm hoping it cools me down, mate, because it's like been in the fridge. Really, really funny. I went round for dinner at my in-laws, and my wife Jess had been sat in the garden all day, sunning herself, drinking these. She was a little bit tipsy. We were well funny. She's normally a girl who'll have like one drink and she'll go, "No, I'll be sensible now. I'm not having any more." But today she had like 3 or 4 of them, and she was like, "Woo!" It was funny. Just had a little bit of, like an espresso coffee, so hopefully I'm a bit wired now. I'll tell you what'll happen. God, that Kevin Owens spot there. Yeah, I'll tell you what'll happen. I'll get in bed and I'll be like wide awake until 5 a.m. Oh, hello, Misfit. We are finally getting Io Asuka. Yeah, LFG. Can't say what that means, but we all know. Shut up, YouTube. You can't stop me. Judgment Day kicking ass, aren't they? Got all that gold, Finn. Let's get rid of that silly briefcase, though. Let's have some drama. Io Asuka's got to be sick, though. I'm looking forward to that. Have they said we're getting it on TV, Misfit, or are we getting it at the next pay-per-view? Or have they not said yet? Because I hope it's a pay-per-view match, you know? You'll be buzzing off that coffee. Yeah, I hope so. I know what'll happen. I'll get till like 4 a.m., like R4, and I'll just be staring at the ceiling. I promise you now. Yeah, that works for me. 15, 20 minutes is fine, isn't it? Fine. I'm putting the bloody fan back on employment. I hate this country. No, I don't. I love it. But you know what I mean. Oh, we're not used to it, are we, Daniel? Yeah, especially northerners like us. We're used to it being grey, cold, and crap, aren't we? Like, we're not used to this. This is mad. We should have bloody listened when they warned us about global warming, shouldn't we? I think that's becoming very apparent. I think anybody still on the fence about that is an idiot. Yeah, Kevin Owens lower back after that jump. That was more. Yeah, I was more thinking of what's he called? JD McDonough just getting smashed into the ring. Are you doing a fan on yourself? Yeah, it's right there, dude. I nicked it from the bedroom, but as soon as I realised she was asleep, I ran upstairs, stole the fan, and brought it down here because I knew I'd need it. It gets hot as hell in this room. Again, I could open that window, but I've got neighbours. I wouldn't want to like wake them up. Kevin takes incredibly risky moves for a big body wrestler. He's been doing it a long time, though. Man knows what he's doing. And that's what I love about Kevin Owens. He's like when Kevin Owens does something, it's like, oh my god, it looks like he could do some damage, you know. Sometimes to himself, but he's so talented. I think Kevin Owens is one of the best wrestlers in the world. I really do. And the fact that he's got a little bit more timber on him than most guys just makes him look more legit. And the whole point of Kevin Owens is he's the everyman. He's, you know, the guy. His whole, yeah, you know what I mean. He's meant to be aspirational, even when he's a bad guy. And even when he was a bad guy, half the time he was in the right. Yeah, the cold and the fog is what I'm used to, not the warmth. Well, that's Manchester for you, mate. The smog, the cold, the greyness. I don't mind Manchester, actually. I kind of like it. It's only an hour away from me. Oh, my God, that Von Wagner spot. Oh, he's savage. The Booker T's reaction. He's just like... I hope he's all right. I really do. Apparently he is. But bloody hell. Scary, isn't it? They're not going to show that on TV, are they? Unless they already have, I don't know. For those wondering, Rhea is in India, which is why she's not on SmackDown. Yeah, I think a bunch of them are in India, aren't they? Did they tape this one? Are they doing it live right now? Oh, I'm from Newcastle. All right. Sorry, I thought I had it in my head you were from Manchester. You're still a northerner. You're even more of a northerner. Are you going to the Impact show in Newcastle, Daniel? I'm going to the Coventry one. I was going to go to the Newcastle one, but it looks like it's the Coventry one I'm going to because it just works with my schedule a bit more. Going as press, though. Bringing my wife to be my glamorous assistant. I've been sitting with the fan on all day to keep me cool. Yeah, me too. Like my office, this is again the office you always see me in here. This is Jess's office. I do the streams in here because it's just a better internet than mine. But mine is like my pride and joy. But up there on a day like today, it's like Jesus. The heat is just unbearable because it's a loft conversion. It's like, it's our fourth bedroom technically, but because it's a loft conversion, it's just it's well insulated. It's like a proper room, but still gets ridiculously hot. Kale reminds me greatly of the late Bam Bam Bigelow. Yes. Yeah, I've always thought that. Yeah, even in Ring of Honor, actually, I kind of thought that. Bam Bam was great, wasn't he? Just absolutely didn't give a, Is this your furniture as your hotel? I'm not in a hotel. I'm in my wife's office, which is where I always am. It's our fan. I think we bought it for 20 quid a few months ago. Great buy. But no, I'm not in a hotel. I know you see me in a hotel now and then. I'm going to shows and stuff, but no, I'm at home right now in our little annex. WWE had Bron Breakker wrestle in India, knowing full well that he's wanted for murder. Oh, behave. Not bloody far off, though, is it? Can't take you anywhere, can we? Not a huge fan of Impact, so probably not. Oh, mate, Impact's wicked. I'm a massive fan of Impact. That's probably because they let me interview a wrestler a week near enough. But yeah, I'm a huge fan of it. I was a big TNA fan back in the day as well. Like, I loved it, the Ruthless Aggression era, right? TNA and I had Raw. Like, I just love the fact that now I've got AW, Impact, WWE, and Ring of Honor to watch. Don't get me wrong, there's loads of others I like, but I'm a sucker for the big four. Feel bad for the kids who are at school. They'll be sweating in the classroom. Ah, yeah. Sucks to be them. I realise actually, like, because I've got like 3 younger brothers, and the youngest of them, who I'm 20 years older than, he's literally just finished school and he's just started college. So it's weird to think that he's not in school anymore. But he'll be sweating his nips off, won't he, wherever he is. At least my office upstairs is nice and air-conned. Hassan says, are you a baseball or a football guy? I'm neither, mate. In all honesty. Again, I'm in the UK, so we don't really do baseball. And we don't do American football quite so much. We do, like, soccer, English football. But even that, I'm not that into. I'm just not a real massive sports guy. I think if you ask me what my favourite sport is, it's probably rugby. But that's only because my wife's family are obsessed with rugby, and it's hard to not get sucked into it, sometimes. Interestingly, the other day, our team, Wigan, were playing Hull. And so I was going to have some banter with Dom and Ant and Dan, but I'm fairly sure it would have been wasted on them. Apart from actually, no, Dan, probably not Dan. I think Dan's a big sports guy, isn't he? I don't think Dom and Ant particularly care that much. I think they're a bit like me in the sense that they like wrestling, a bit of MMA, and not much else. Again, I could be speaking for them. I know Dom's that way. I don't know about Anthony. Would you believe me that I told you that Asuka turns 42 on the 26th? I would, mate. But damn, she looks good. Asuka, you look great. She's awesome, Asuka. Would you believe me, Misfit, if I told you I'm 36 in a few weeks? Don't you dare say yes. Daniel says, my little sister is in year 9. Where's the time gone? Mate, I promise you, the older you get, you're gonna like you'll hear this from people all the time, but the older you get, the more it just kind of like runs away with you. Like it feels like it was only 5 minutes ago I was again like living on my own, doing what I want. I do miss those days. I prefer my current lifestyle, but yeah, that was ace. Living alone. I only lived alone for a year or so before Jess moved in with me. But that's just the best. When you got the place to yourself. It gets a bit lonely, but you don't care because you've got your PlayStation and your wrestling and everything. And like you've got all I remember at the time I had like TV, I had like a PS3, I think it was the PS3 era. And I had one in the conservatory, one in the bedroom, and one in the front room. It was ridiculous. And Sam says, do you like movies? Mate, I absolutely love movies and TV series and box sets and stuff like that. Absolutely adore it. Adore them. Last film I went to see was Oppenheimer. No, that was a wicked film. I'm so busy with work all the time. I don't get to see half the films I want to watch or play half the games I want to play. Again, like, you know, because I have to watch so much wrestling and play so many games for work. I'm not complaining, by the way. A lot of that, my leisure time kind of goes on that, really. The rest of it goes on being a family man, walking the dogs, going to the gym, going out with friends. So I don't get to watch anywhere near as much TV and movies as I'd like to. Daniel says, do you like boxing? I do, yeah. But I think I'm more of an MMA guy, really. I love the idea of MMA fascinates me. I love the fact that you can use one fighting style against another and see which ones blend well with which others and which ones don't. That's the stuff that gets me interested. So UFC and Bellator, a lot more boxing in Bellator than there is in UFC. But yeah, that's the stuff I really enjoy. You cheeky basket. And you, I'm banning both of you. Rugby, kind of like American football without the pads. Yeah, because we're hard, Normar. Well, that's because we're rock hard. Don't ever mess with a rugby player. Speaking of rugby players, there's one in the ring right now, a former rugby player. And he just got put on his ass by Damien Priest. Rough looking game. It's fun, actually, Normar. I used to play a little bit of it at high school. It's dead fun because I'm like quite a small guy. I was always fast, so I could do it on the wing. But the minute they caught me, I was dead. Do you know what I mean? The minute I actually got tackled, I got destroyed. But half the time, they couldn't catch me. As soon as they did, I was dead. Feels like I've only just left school and started college. Well, yeah, you know, yeah. It's like a young dude, not like me. I wouldn't go back, though, to being... I wish I could kind of stay where I am forever. I wouldn't want to go back, but I also don't want to go forwards. I'm at that point where I'm good where I am, you know? As I'm saying, I saw Fast X today on HD Movies. It was good. Yeah, so I haven't seen that one yet. I think the last one I saw, the last Fast Furious movie, was the one... Oh, which one was it? Was it the one with the massive runway that never ended? Do you remember that one? Bloody ridiculous. I have a soft spot, though, for the Fast films. My favourite is the first one, though. I still think the first one is phenomenal. I don't think they can have as many stunts and races and stuff as they want. They'll never beat the premise of the first one, I believe. Although I do enjoy Fast 5. I love that because it combines loads of characters from different films into one movie. I love that. Just realised we're not doing a vote. Let's do a vote. LA Knight won that last one by 90%, guys. That's pretty sick. Just start a poll. Who wins? Brawling Brutes. Let's do this one quick. Fairly sure Judgment Day are winning this. Imagine. I'm not going to bother doing a banner, guys, because this match will be over as soon as this ad break's over. I only said yes because you said not to. I still get ID'd, I'll have you know. Yeah, rugby players aren't people to be messed with. Yeah, I've got a couple of mates and family members who adore rugby and play a bit of it as well. I think it's a very different game to American football because I actually do have an appreciation of American football. It's a very different game. There's definitely similarities. It must be great if you're a fan of both. It must be really fun to enjoy both. I've got a very good friend actually who plays both and really enjoys both. And I've watched a couple of Super Bowls, and it is if you're watching it with guys who are more into it than you are, it's really easy to get like sucked into the fun of it and the atmosphere of it. Because I watched the Super Bowl for all the movie trailers. That's my favorite part of the Super Bowl. Especially, yeah, exactly. Furious 6. Is that the last one? Yeah. Misfits say we should be celebrating the greatest continental. Did I just say, oh dear? That means something very different. Intercontinental champion, not an incontinent champion. Of all time, the Ring General Gunther. Oh, by the way, if you want to see me do an impression of Ludwig Kaiser, go watch the stream Andy and I did earlier. I nailed it. And if you disagree, I'll ban you. For the ending of the series, Fast and Furious, which is the next film, they need to go CGI Paul Walker on his brother to make him look like the original one. Yeah, maybe. Because I kind of liked that they gave the character a happy ending, but they've kind of like, I know obviously we lost Paul Walker, but with his brothers, it was nice that we kind of like, even though tragically Paul Walker didn't get a happy ending, Brian O'Connor did, which I think he'd approve of. But it was the right time to retire the character. But it might be nice to see if they can do something for the last. But I think they will. There used to be a franchise about street racing. I don't know how the hell it turned into what it's turned into. Yeah, I'll give Graves it. Graves does a good one as well. Yeah, true. They could do something, I'm sure. Because they've done it with other people, haven't they? I know there's a bit of a weird ethical debate around it, isn't there? Because Star Wars annoyed a lot of people, didn't they, when they brought back Grand Moff Tarkin? It is a weird one. You've got to know, don't you, if the actor would be for it or not. And I think Walker would be for it. I think he put a lot of effort and time and energy into Fast and Furious. And I think he'd appreciate the fact that it's not forgetting how important he was to it. I think. Carrying Cross, Jesse Ventura on commentary. Oof. I'll look at it. Oh, wow. See, this can was freezing when I got it out of the fridge. It's already dripping wet from all the condensation of the heat. All I know from Fast X is The Rock comes back and Gal Gadot returns from the dead and she died. Yeah, she jumped. Yeah, that's the runway one, isn't it? She jumped off onto the runway, but nobody stays dead in Fast and the Furious. Like, they brought back Han. They brought back Letty. Am I missing anybody? Have they killed anyone off? I'm kind of glad they're bringing back Gal Gadot because that. I think the only person who's going to stay dead is Dom's ex-girlfriend, the cop lady whose kid he's raising. See, I told you I was a fan. Not a massive fan, but I do have a soft spot for them. I actually don't think they're good films, but I think they're fun, if that makes any sense. I enjoy them, but I'm like, I find it really hard to take my wife to them because she just rolls her eyes. Hey, Sam, and Gimme A Hull Yeah, how's it going? I'm all right, fake Seth Rollins. How are you? Cross's Ventura is top notch. When did I hear it? Because I've heard of it before. I was mad when Han returned. Yeah, you might not know this, Daniel, but Han, the character of Han, like a lot of people think his first appearance in, obviously he appeared as as Dom's mate in the story way earlier than Tokyo Drift. But the first film we saw him in, fast film, was of course Tokyo Drift, where he got killed off, and then retconned and killed another way, but the same way. But there's actually another film by Justin Lin that the character is in before that. Like Han was actually a character from another movie that they brought into Fast and the Furious. A film about a bunch of school kids who kill someone and bury him in the garden. I forgot what it is. I'll find out for you. Hang on, I'll find out for you. You might already know. Wikipedia. What would I do without you? Justin Lin. There you are. I think it was a Justin Lin film. There we go. Yeah. So it's a film called Better Luck Tomorrow, Daniel. And in that film, Han is in it. It's set in the Fast and the Furious universe, but it's not a Fast and the Furious film. But it's about Han when he was in school and what he got up to. It's got no connection to Fast and the Furious other than it's the same character. But there you go. Oh, it's not Gal. Ain't got Wonder Things going anymore. Well, yeah. Oh, don't get me started on the DCU. I mean, what a wasted opportunity that was. I think they rushed it to compete with Marvel. They should have just slowly built it, taken their time, and done it the right way. What could have been? I'm enjoying everything they're doing with Batman and the Joker, though, at the moment. I'm enjoying that. I thought the recent Batman film was great. I actually liked Batfleck as well. I actually think there's a place in movies for us to have that version of Batman and then the more grounded, detective-driven Batman. I'm game for that, but God knows what they're doing. What car would you want from the franchise? I was always a fan of Walker's Skylines, but I also adore American muscle cars as well. So Dom's is pretty awesome. You know, the one he like his dad apparently died in and all that. I'd love to own a Dodge Challenger as well one day. I plan to. There's actually a place near me that sells them, would you believe? Could you imagine if I brought one of them home? I'd be in so much trouble. My mum and dad met Han in real life at Bolero. But yeah, check out that film, Better Luck Tomorrow. It's a good film. Cross did it when he was hanging out with Chris. Right. I'll go looking for that tomorrow. Tokyo Drift was that? Yeah. Oh, I know the timeline. They kind of went back and they had to retcon a lot of Tokyo Drift, didn't they? Because it was such a like when they made that film. I remember when it came out when they made that film. Vin Diesel didn't want anything to do with the Fast franchise because they made that he wasn't in the second one. The second one was Lashley's out. Because the only good part of the second one was the introduction of Tyrese Gibson's superb character, who's the most fun part of the entire film series since then. But I thought Fast and the Furious Tokyo Drift was an awful movie. It's nice that they've kind of made it more connected to the others with what they've done with Lucas Black's character and things like that. And what they've done with Han and connecting his death. But yeah. I'm more Marvel than DC. Oh, hang on a minute. I think I missed a couple there, guys. I'm more Marvel than DC, but I like Black Adam. Yeah, there's loads of DC movies I love. Loads and loads. I feel like it's just a shame the DCU never just caught fire because they made so many silly creative decisions that botched it. Oh, this is sick. We're getting the new Hurt Business versus Judgment Day. Oh my God, I'm so excited. My hat is so hot. I'm not taking it off though. Hell no. I'm said Ben Affleck wants to get to do his Batman film. Yeah, I am. I mean, I'm happy that we got the Batman. I thought the Batman was awesome, and I'm looking forward to the sequel. But yeah, I really wanted to get like a solo Batfleck film. Maybe him going. Did you hear about the pitch for the movie? I think they were planning on doing this is only one version of it. There are multiple versions they went through, but one version of it, I forgot the comic it's based off, but the idea is Deathstroke is trying to kill the Joker. There's a price on the Joker's head. And Batman, because he's Batman, is actually trying to get the Joker out of harm's way from Deathstroke, defeat Deathstroke, but resolve one of the Joker's schemes at the same time, while the Joker is not making it easy for Batman to try and save his life. With Jared Leto as the Joker, with the dude, I forgot his name, the dude who was played there down as Deathstroke. That sounds like a wicked film. Absolutely awesome. But we can't have nice things, can we? But yeah, I do enjoy what they're doing with the Matt Reeves films. What's up with AJ? What heck? Yeah, the skyline in Too Fast, Too Furious is beautiful. Show about the rest of the film. Fully agree with Daniel there. Triple H reminds me to ask when we never got Finn Balor versus Pete Dunne in NXT. Did we not? I feel like we've seen it. And if we haven't, it's about time we did. I didn't understand the film at first, Black Adam. It's weird that they had him as such a hero, because when I was a kid reading Black Adam comics, Black Adam was a bit of a dick. A bit of an anti-hero, but he was like the enemy of the Green Lantern, you know? I see, you know, I get what they did with it, but yeah. Same with Venom. Like, they make Venom to be this cuddly character these days. Venom was a serial killer, like, foil to Spider-Man before he was, like, he's an Avenger these days in the comics, Venom. He's a good guy now. Like, but he wasn't, it took him a long time to reach that status. There are a few new DC movies that I've been hitting. Blue Beetle, Flash, Black Adam. See, the Flash had some awesome parts. But wow, I felt it fell apart at the end. Flipping heck. I enjoyed that they kind of did their own version of Sevitor, though. I thought that was pretty nice, because I was thinking we were going to see reverse Flash all the way through it, and we never saw him, and they did a version of Sevitor instead. So that was cool. I haven't seen Blue Beetle. I don't really fancy it. It just seems like such a corporate product of a film as opposed to a, cinema. Pete Dunne didn't get pinned, so that was good. Yeah. Oh, I know. Yeah, I enjoy, like, the Robert Pattinson. I didn't think I was going to like him as Batman. I didn't think I was going to like Ben Affleck as Batman either, but I ended up liking both of them. I thought Pattinson was great. I forgot he was Robert Pattinson, and I just saw Bruce Wayne, which is the biggest compliment you can give an actor. Also, I'll never acknowledge Josh Whedon's Justice League. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Snyder Cut's far superior, isn't it? And let's be honest, Whedon himself as a man hasn't aged well, has he? Undercover Cop film. Is that the Batman one? Wait, I just remembered. They main evented Takeover. I could have sworn I'd seen it, like somewhere high profile. But let's remember, let's be honest. It is hard to remember everything with wrestling because it never ends. Superman versus Black Adam. Who wins? Superman. Superman beats everyone in the end. And he's tangled Black Adam loads of times in the comics. Not that I'm a massive comic fan, but he's often an enemy and an ally of the Justice League, Black Adam, depending on what's going on. With Green Lantern being a member of the Justice League and him being Green Lantern's rival. Robert Pattinson is a great Batman. I can't judge his Bruce Wayne yet. Yeah, no, I see what you mean. I kind of enjoyed, I liked the whole broken, still finding his feet Bruce Wayne. But what I loved about that film is the fact that he's still finding his feet as Batman and trying to find a balance between Wayne and Batman. And I liked how Batman is kind of almost consuming his Bruce Wayne persona. Batman Begins was a good film. Batman Begins kind of showed him applying that balance and learning how to do it. He's not quite there, is he, in the Batman? He's not like developed the playboy business billionaire guy that he has to put out there in public. But I loved how there were moments when he was Batman where everything was a little bit janky and he didn't quite stick the landing. Like when he jumped off Gotham PD, and it's very awkward and uncoordinated because it's the first time he's ever done anything like that. If that was any other Batman film, he just would have swooped beautifully and perfectly. I like the fact that he was a little bit clumsy and frightened of the heights, and that was great. And then when he got in the Batmobile for the first time and he stalls it, brilliant. I love that. He's still like perfecting being Batman. Yeah, Superman beats everyone apart from Batman. Batman is easily my favorite comic book character and easily my favorite DC character. I'm a Marvel guy primarily, but Batman is actually like I love Batman so much. He's my all-time favorite. Beano is the best comic book. I haven't read the Beano in like 30 years. Is it even still going? Batman isn't a hero. He just had money. No, he doesn't have superpowers. That's what makes him so good. It's not just, like the money certainly helps. But I think with Batman, this is his sense of justice. And it's the fact that he's a complete sociopath, isn't he? He's completely broken by his parents' murder. And the Joker is the only person who ever calls him out properly for it and sees him for what he is. A great line in I forgot which comic it is when he's like, "What is it with you? Is it a brother cut up by the mob, or something like that?" He goes, "I know it's something because it was something with me, you know. But if I'm going to have a past, I prefer for it to be multiple choice." So that's the Joker is admitting and confessing to Batman that he's been through some kind of tragedy, but he's never going to fully admit what it is. He's just going to keep having contradictory stories. But yeah, I love Batman. Batman is smarter than everyone else. Yeah, and a genius level intellect. You know, sociopathy, genius level intellect, and a hell of a lot of money. And you've got one hell of a cool hero. As I'd say, so what time do you have for Saturday? It's 2:30 in the morning for me right now, Hassan. And no one is ready for Asuka. Yeah, Green Lantern, Green Arrow and Tony Khan. Tony Khan? You mean Tony Stark? And Tony Khan's superpower is money as well. Oh, it's Jimmy. Batman is just as insane as the Joker. I was telling my friend about that. Well, this is interesting because, like, Batman is the only person who saw through the Joker. Like, The Dark Knight's a great example of this because you get the moment where the Joker's telling everyone all the way the film, "I'm just an agent of chaos. I'm just an agent of chaos. I just do things. I'm a dog chasing cars." And Batman calls him out at the end, and he's like, "No, you're not. You're just trying to prove to the world that everybody, after one bad day," which is the comic that they're basing that conversation off, everybody can be as ugly as you. This is all the Joker is really trying to do, is justify being bad. Bringing it, so he's not trying to just create chaos at all. It's deeply personal what he's doing. It's all about him. It's narcissism turned outwards, and everything about the chaos is an absolute lie. And I loved that. I love how Batman calls him out for that at the end. And the Joker has a great comeback though. He's like, "You and I are destined to do this forever. You're going to be in a padded cell forever. Well, maybe we can share one." It's right out of that comic. That I think it's right out of the one. Is it One Bad Day? It's one of them. There's so many. Yeah, Spider-Man is another awesome hero. Spider-Man's my second favorite. That's a good point. Well, believe it or not, Batman, when they started doing Batman, he was just like the world's greatest detective. Then they turned him into a lunatic killer. Then they found that happy medium where he doesn't do that. To be fair to Tony Stark, once he creates that nanotechnology that's in his bones and he can make the suit just come out of his bones, that's essentially a man-made superpower. They aren't doing Asuka and I on pay-per-view. What? Oh, that sucks. Do you not think, though, Misfit, they might do a classic WWE move where they have the match early and people interfere and they don't quite get the match and then they put it on the pay-per-view afterwards, you know? So what does the Oppenheimer do? Oppenheimer, Hassan, is a movie all about the scientist Oppenheimer, who was the leader of the Manhattan Project, which is quite controversial. It's how it was the arms race to come up with the atomic bomb before Germany did, and America got there because of Oppenheimer and Albert Einstein's work and on a load of other work. But that's what Oppenheimer's about. It's a good film, but it'll leave you feeling a bit creeped out at the end, because the film ends with a whole, why have we got nukes? What are we doing? We shouldn't have them. Anyway, didn't think we'd be talking about that tonight. Tom Hiddleston has done a great job building Loki into a cool character. Yeah, oh, he has. He's great, isn't he? I think we wept when what happened to him in Infinity War. But I love what they're doing with this new version of Loki, which is, technically our Loki, isn't it? Did you know Cillian Murphy, who played Tommy Shelby, was in a Batman film? I can't remember which one he played. Scarecrow. He actually played Scarecrow, or at least Crane, Dr. Crane, in all three of the Nolan movies. He's properly Scarecrow in Batman Begins. He's in the opening scene of A Dark Knight, and he has the best line in the film. And then he returns in The Dark Knight Rises as the judge, condemning people to walk out onto the ice. Because him and Christopher Nolan are mates. Oh, and Cillian Murphy also plays Oppenheimer in the Oppenheimer movie. There you go. In the Arkham games, Joker dies because of his own doing, injects himself. Yeah, I remember. It's such a good game. Batman pushes the Joker to the darkest recesses of his brain. Yeah. But it's interesting, isn't it, how he struggles. He does that. He brings the Joker back as a consciousness, doesn't he? Because he struggles without him. It's only at the end of the game, the third or was it even fourth game, he actually manages to live without the Joker. Because they are codependent. Of course they are. WWE announced the match in 2 weeks. Do you reckon we'll get it, though? Do you reckon they'll do some shenanigans? I believe Oppenheimer became depressed afterwards in real life. Oh yeah, it's not a secret. He struggled with a lot of things. You can read his memoirs, and he tells you all about it. The guy who made the atomic bomb and spent the rest of his life trying to prevent more atomic bombs and to convince people why we were stupid to have them. And I think thanks to him, in a way, we haven't ever used them since Nagasaki. Not against other people, anyway. Obviously, we've tested them. Let's hope we never, ever use one. I don't want, because I want the first match to be special. Yeah, no, I agree. I think it should be on the pay-per-view. The first ever singles match on TV. It deserves to be on the pay-per-view, in my opinion. I kind of hope something happens, one of them interferes, somebody interferes, and they push it back. Unless they're going somewhere else with it, which seems like a wasted opportunity if they do. And here's the main event. Shall I do a poll? And that's a very good point of observing stuff. Yeah, once they split the atom, it was inevitable, wasn't it? I imagine. I'm no physicist, but if he hadn't have done it, Heisenberg would have. Yeah. Because they got there too. But once one person had done it, that's the thing with science. Once one person has done it, everybody else can do it. Because didn't they split the atom like 24 hours later when they realised that the way to do it? I know I'm trivialising splitting the atom here. I love how we're talking about Oppenheimer and then Charlotte Flair. But we are here to watch wrestling. Something tells me they'll shoehorn Charlotte into it. Oh, no, please, no. But yeah, I think you're right. Because she was out earlier, wasn't she? Right, let's have a poll, yo. Judgment Day won the last one by 75%. Who was it who voted for anyone but Judgment Day? Reveal yourselves. Who wins? Come on, AJ. Who's been a bit mean to Carl Anderson before. Ooh. Didn't quite get that super kick out, did he? And let's do a banner. One final banner of the evening. Nope, don't want to open Slack. Go away, Slack. It's a work tool. I'm not using that until Monday. And see, this would be good, but you just know it's going to have 50,000 commercial breaks. But it is a TV match, isn't it? So AJ, that coffee worked, guys. I'm wide awake now. Itchy here. And another one. Headphones in it. Jimmy Uso. Well, back to wrestling. AJ turning back heel. I doubt the fans would boo him if he does. Yeah, I mean, they flip-flop AJ too much, I think. I feel like he spent a lot more time as a heel than he has as a face recently. And if he turns, his whole faction generally turns with him. Because we wanted Becky versus Ronda in a singles at Mania 35 and weren't allowed to have... Yeah. A lot of people... I still enjoyed that match. I think, like, there's a part of me that agrees completely with that. And then there's another part of me that liked having Charlotte in it because it did make sense. They were the three big stars, and each of them kind of represented a different element of the fan base and a different aspect of WWE, a different aspect of women's wrestling, didn't they? You know, like, so I kind of liked it. It did add some gravitas to it, but yeah, that there's certainly an argument for her not being in it. I don't think AJ's turning heel because Roman needs more challenges. Yes, exactly. Has AJ not gone up against Roman in this title reign? Yeah, no, I don't think he has he? Yeah, he makes total sense to have AJ go up. I love how WWE undid months of TV by having Jimmy go back on the bloodline. Yeah, I said that. I wasn't for it. Like, I would have been furious, right, if he had been like gone back to Roman Reigns as a loyal puppet. I kind of see the character's motivation, but yeah, I think if we're all looking at it as a backstep, then it's probably a backstep. But I'll trust the process. We'll see where they go, because we know what they're doing, don't we? They're spinning the wheels until Mania, you know. And I reckon they're being a bit corporate and they're seeing which one of Jimmy or Jay catches the most fire as a single star. Newsflash, it's going to be Jay. I'm surprised they split them. I think that's the only explanation I've got for sticking them on different brands. Because I honestly thought we'd have an Uso on Uso feud for a bit before something caused them to come back together, you know? Yeah, it's... But saying that, I was proper failing the Brock Lesnar Cody Rhodes feud. Enjoyed the matches, but I thought the feud was nonsensical until it wasn't. You know what I mean? Like, once they actually silently and subtly told us the reason for it, it made sense to me, and I kind of appreciated it. I don't think they did that on purpose, though. I think that was just... It's 2:45, which means my internet is playing up. So I'm sorry if I disappear and come back, guys. I will return. This is good cider. Might sink a few of them tomorrow. No, not yet. I feel like they are setting AJ for Roman. I hope so. I know we've seen Roman and AJ before, but never both of them like this. And both those guys are like a fine wine, I think. They both get better with age, especially AJ. I just want to say, weeks ago, Jimmy said he didn't. No, he didn't. Well, yeah, that's true. He didn't do it for Roman, did he? He did it because he was scared of Jay becoming Roman. Has he said something tonight to contradict that? He might have done. I might have heard it. Obviously, like Heyman, they're trying to bring him back into the bloodline fold, aren't they? Now, that would be a mistake. Then it would absolutely be undoing all the TV. He needs to stay out of the bloodline tent. He still needs to be. He needs to be against Roman, but on his own. You know, that's the only way they can like redeem it and keep it going. And Cody is more than likely the one being traded to SmackDown. Ooh, I was wondering who it was going to be. I must say, though, Jey Uso and Sami Zayn embracing and being like making up on Raw was warm to the cockles. It was a nice thing to see. But we all know KO's not going to be happy about it, don't we? Like, you know, is this the beginning of the end for Sami and Kevin? They ain't got their belts no more. And a few things are certain in life, which is death, taxes, and Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens are going to fight. And it's usually KO turning on Sami, innit? Hiya, Chris. In 2 weeks, Io Sky versus Asuka will end in a DQ. That's exactly what we were saying, mate. That's what I predict anyway, because I think they'll do it. They'll book it. They'll make a big deal out of it. Then they'll deliberately cock it up and do it again at the pay-per-view. And do you know what? I'm actually hoping they do that because I want it at the pay-per-view, you know? Oh, really? So he considers himself back in the bloodline now? Oh, I'll watch it back tomorrow. Then I'll probably rant on Twitter. That's good, Copperberg. Has Daniel gone to bed? It's all good if he has. God, AJ's looking like a right savage tonight. Nice. Oh, no, I didn't hear that. I was probably too busy chatting about the Fast and the Furious or something. Oppenheimer. He can still be in, though, can't he? Let's do some semantics. He can still be in. I think something's going to go horribly wrong. Like, he was the guy who led the rebellion, wasn't he? Yeah, we'll see where this goes. But yeah, I think him turning on Jay had to be them spinning the wheels. Exactly. Yeah, that's what I mean. He was the one who led the charge, wasn't he? And he was the one that Roman was just threw away like trash, wasn't he? You know, he just didn't. It was like he just didn't ever care about him. Jay was the one he wanted to retain, and he was happy to throw Jimmy to the wolves, wasn't he? You know, if I was Jimmy, I'd be so anti-Roman Reigns. And quite why he super kicked his brother in the face was, I do think it's really hard. I keep trying to defend it, and it's really hard to see it as anything other than a massive misstep that kind of did insult fan investment, really. I remember tweeting about it at the time. I remember posting a picture of Jimmy doing his kick and Jimmy's face at least. And I was like, does this push the boundaries of believability? But I've said it before, they're spinning the wheels till Mania, aren't they? They've got to give the Bloodline something to do individually. Cody being the one to trade SmackDown makes all the sense in the world. Yeah. I'd be game. Proper. I think has he done everything he needs to do on Raw? Probably has. Well, halfway through the year towards Mania, aren't we? So in being on SmackDown for half and being on Raw for half, vice versa, does kind of work, doesn't it? And how do we get to Roman Cody Mania without having him win the Rumble? Trade him to SmackDown. See, I don't think he's winning. I don't think he's getting there through the Rumble this time. I don't like if they make him like, yeah, he might win the Rumble. He might do, but there are other ways to get to Mania than the Rumble, as we've seen many times before. Like they could go down the Elimination Chamber route. They could, like, whoever wins the Rumble could challenge Seth or whoever's holding the gold belt, the heavyweight. So I know it's technically a secondary title. Yeah, no, I get you. I'm just thinking out loud with different options, because I think it'd be a little bit lazy to have Cody win the Rumble again. Or would it be pretty cool? They've done it before, haven't they? I think didn't Shawn Michaels win twice in a row, and hasn't Stone Cold won twice in a row? Correct me if I'm wrong. There's not a sniff of me remembering every Rumble winner. Not a sniff. Yeah, I love that. I love the idea of Cody winning the Chamber and doing it that way. And whoever wins the Rumble goes after Seth. Yeah, exactly. Just like Asuka. And also, Cody going through the Chamber is almost a little bit more visceral, isn't it? There's a lot of luck involved with the Royal Rumble and relying on other people to kick each other out and stuff. In the Elimination Chamber, he'll have to actually fight. I know you have to win the Rumble, but you know what I mean. Elimination Chamber is quite a violent pay-per-view. It's a bit more brutal than the Rumble. The Rumble's full of a bit of comedy, a bit of this, a bit of that. Cody going through the Chamber would make him look proper legit. So I'd be up for that. Especially if there's some badasses in there with him. Like if he goes through the Lashleys, the Brocks, the Damian Priests, the KOs, maybe, people like who can do some damage. Yeah, Cody will be on Raw, announcing he's moving to SmackDown. I tell you what, they're putting all their eggs in all their biggest eggs in that SmackDown basket. Dom did a stream the other day about who it should be to end, going left field here, who it should be to end John Cena's career, who has the match against him and retires him. And there's loads of awesome ideas. But the one that keeps sticking in my head is Cody. Because I do think WWE like the idea of Cody being their next Cena. No one will ever be the next Cena, but I wonder if they want him to be the poster boy. And how you got to be the best, you got to beat the best, I don't know. Because it's not like they're moving on from Roman. Obviously, Roman wants to go and get a little bit of time off at some point, but we've got Roman with us for a long time before Hollywood comes calling. If it does, not every wrestler can make the transition to Hollywood. Do you remember Triple H trying? But they did see something with him and Drew. Have a small program with Drew moving to SmackDown. Yeah. I also don't think Drew's done with either Gunther or Roman. I like the long-term storytelling with Drew being mad at Jey Uso, remembering what happened with the Bloodline. That's good. I love it when WWE reward investment and when they remember stuff. Because when Vince was booking it week after week, Like you'd have a wrestler being friends with one wrestler one week, and then blood feuding with them the next, and then forgetting the blood feud the week later. It was absolute mess. Cody's going to be the one to dethrone Roman. I'm calling it, mate. We're all calling it. Daniel's not keen on the idea, but if you put all the pieces together in that jigsaw, it does make a lot of sense. Oh, WWE. Yeah, exactly, mate. Exactly. Because could you imagine if he's the guy to dethrone Roman, then as a feud with Cena? Do you know what I loved about? Do you remember Cena's program with The Undertaker before New Orleans? That was just brilliant. I loved every moment of that. I loved how Cena became more desperate and a little bit heelish. Got to the point where when Kane walked out and just choke slammed the life out of him, because the crowd popped because the crowd wanted to see Cena get shut up. It's the closest Cena's ever come to being a heel. He wasn't, of course. But I love the idea of this old man Cena becoming a little bit more, not that he's an old man, becoming a little bit more insecure. And and then maybe picking a fight with Cody where Cena thinks he's the good guy in this story, but he's actually not. I don't think they should ever go full heel with Cena. But I like the idea of him maybe being the bad guy in that feud. WWE did add time to Drew's contract. Well, good. I don't want Drew to go anywhere. Drew's perfect in WWE. Yeah, I think Jay and maybe other members of the Bloodline all need to regain their honor fighting Roman, but ultimately lose. That's what I think. Like Sami Zayn did. Sami Zayn regained his soul fighting Roman, but still lost the fight. Oh, this is interesting. Judgment Day working with Bloodline again. You know, they've worked together before, haven't they, these two powerful factions? Ooh. No, is this beef? Let's be honest, Balor's had a ton of beef with Roman over the years, hasn't he? There's a very good possibility that CM Punk is coming back to WWE with Endeavor being... Yeah, Endeavor haven't exactly covered them. Don't get me wrong, I'm glad they're keeping Vince in check, but the fact that they brought Vince back in the first place with the allegations, and they are just allegations because everyone's innocent until proven guilty, but with those allegations hanging over him, it's still a bit icky, isn't it? You know? Yeah, so like Dom and Ant were discussing this on their Ant versus Dom stream earlier, and I actually agreed with Ant. I think Ant believes it would be absolutely mind-bogglingly stupid for WWE to do that, and I think he's right. But I actually think WWE are the sort of company who would do something that mind-bogglingly stupid. Like, I've really, really mixed feelings about. And to be fair, I'm so done talking about CM Punk. So I'm only going to address it this one time. Part of me wants to watch CM Punk wrestle. Wants to see him do it because I love his work. But I'm of the view the guy needs psychiatric help. And I don't think the Elite are perfect people at all. Far from it. I think they're actually a goddamn clicky little nightmare backstage. And I think they've been pecking at him from the sidelines. But he's unable to be a grown-up. I think he's a thug. I think he's a fool. And I think he cares nothing for the fans at all. And he's all about him. But so part of me never wants to see him again as well. I'm very, very conflicted about CM Punk. Yeah, but that's all I'm really going to say about it. Because I'm just so sick of thinking about it and talking about it. And there are so many nice and awesome things going on in wrestling. I don't need personally to think or give mental space to that level of toxicity. If he returned to WWE, I'd watch it. But again, I'd bet my car on it ending in tears. Because everything ends in tears when it comes to CM Punk. And that's a fan. I'm a fan saying that. It's just getting to the point, like, I now believe he's Austin Aries and Ryback rolled into one. And that's the biggest insult I could ever throw at anyone. Right. It's 3 a.m. Let's do a bit of look at these and do a bit of wrap up. Yeah, did the J match 3 times. He's not dethroning Roman. Yeah, but you're right. I totally agree. But the J we have this time is a very different J to the one we had that time because of all the amazing storytelling that's happened in between it. But yeah, I think Jay's not the guy to do it. Jay is the guy to, again, reclaim his soul and be the guy to perhaps start a new bloodline around himself and expose Roman for the abuser he is. I think that's the story. I think that's where it needs to go. Yes, the OC not to be there somehow. Talk about no interference there, yeah. Exactly. Well, yeah, because that's true. Roman was a heel. He couldn't win legit. If you look at all Roman Reigns' matches, there's very few he's won without the help of Solo Sikoa or the Usos. You know, McIntyre, Cody, Sami Zayn, Jey Uso, Balor. I think, did Balor have him? I think all of them had his. I don't know if Balor. A few of them did. Go back all the way to Braun Strowman and Bray Wyatt. You know, like a lot of them had his number. But it's classic heel tactics, and that's a shame about heels like him. They can get it done in the ring, but you've got to book a heel a certain way. Blimey, you guys are moving quick. So observing stuff is saying peace out, good night, dude. And right now, Punk coming back is up to Ari Emanuel, Triple H, and Nick Khan. And I don't want to think about it at all. I'm so dumb thinking about it. I'd rather put all my energy into missing Bray Wyatt and, you know, I'm so done giving CM Punk any oxygen and stuff. Jimmy is a trash brother, not in real life. What he did to Jay. Yeah, totally. Yeah, I do exactly the same thing. Do you know what? I actually think that'll be interesting. Let's see what happens. Yeah. In the name of science, let's just see what happens. He can't help himself. He can't get out of his own way. He doesn't know how to have an argument. He doesn't know how to deal with adversity. You know, I think he's just a very insecure, very arrogant, God complex of a human being who just has zero people skills and thinks very highly of himself. Yes, he's an excellent wrestler. He's one of the best ever. Absolutely brilliant. But he's not, I don't know. I've spent so long defending him. And I've got nothing left. I've got nothing left, you know? It's just a shame. Oh, yeah, that was... See, they went nowhere with that top rope spot. I was under the impression that had it been sabotaged or something, that was the crappiest way to end the match ever. Devastated they never actually did anything with that. Ugh. The only reason they bring him back is he's a draw, the Moose merch. Yeah. One word for that, innit? Cynical, you know? Not wrong, though. Right then, guys. So that was a good episode of SmackDown. I'm not going to go through it, giving ratings and stuff, because I'm a little bit too tired. But I thought it was a good episode of SmackDown. I think they moved a few things along. Yeah, exactly. Like, that wouldn't... Even them just saying, did someone cut the turnbuckle rope? Just even that would have been more satisfying than just it being a random act of... Ugh. Anyway. Anyway, I don't want to go to bed thinking about CM Punk. That's for damn sure. I don't want to wake up thinking about him either. I just don't want to think about him full stop. So anyway, guys, thank you for joining me tonight. It's been fun. It's been emotional. We've discussed a range of topics, haven't we? But anyway, I'll see you next Friday. I don't think there's anything else I've got booked with Gimme A Hull Yeah for the next week. I think Dan will be back on Monday. I could be wrong. I know he's got a lot of stuff going on with the work at the moment. Oh no, he's going to San Francisco, so we're probably not going to see him. It won't be me covering him because I've got a lot of work on the Tuesday morning. But we'll see what happens with Raw and where we go on Monday night. But I imagine Anthony will be back on Wednesday. But yeah, Dan is going to San Francisco to visit his family and spend some well-deserved time resting. So anyway, guys, I'll catch you later. I know there's a ton of stuff I've not done tonight, but it is what it is. And I'll see you soon. Hull yeah, and all that cool stuff.